I would like to call to order the September 16th, 2024 Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. Welcome, everyone. If you would stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you would please join me in a moment of silence for our invocation tonight. Thank you. Okay, first up is the approval or correction of the minutes. You all have a copy of those in your agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve, or are there any corrections?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we move to approval of the agenda. I do have one addition to the agenda that I would like to add, and that would be item C4, and that is a PACE month proclamation that will be read tonight. Are there any other changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to add an item under new business, just a simple discussion regarding the community concern of the LGC funding as it relates to the schools.
Okay,
just to get some clarity on some of that.
Item G3. Okay, any other changes or additions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with a previous discussion, adding item C4 and item G3,
So moved.
as well as the changes on page 41.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move to recognitions and presentations. And we are happy to have Library Director Melanie Hollis with us for a Library Card Sign-Up Month proclamation. Welcome, Melanie.
Well, good evening. Thanks to our communications department, I'm not going to read the proclamation. We will have it on video.
Great. Thank you.
Whereas
libraries are essential for the education and development of children, offering everything from preschool story times to college and career planning resources for high school students, nurturing literacy and a love for reading.
Whereas
libraries provide welcoming and inclusive spaces where individuals from all backgrounds can learn and connect, bridging cultural, ethnic, generational, and economic divides, and strengthening the social fabric of their communities.
Whereas
libraries are committed to creating and maintaining diverse programs and collections that reflect the communities they serve, ensuring equitable access for all.
Whereas
libraries assist people of all ages in navigating life's complexities, offering access to research, information, and government services that enhance productivity and fulfillment.
Whereas
libraries boost the local economy by providing critical access to technology and training for job seekers, entrepreneurs, and students.
Whereas,
During times of crisis, libraries and their staff play a vital role in supporting communities both in person and virtually.
whereas,
The shared resources provided by libraries help households save money, conserve resources, reduce waste, offering a simple way to make a positive impact.
whereas,
A library card ignites creativity and empowers individuals to explore new interests and pursue lifelong learning.
whereas,
Libraries uphold democracy by promoting civic engagement and the free exchange of information and ideas for all.
Therefore, be it resolved that the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners
proclaim September as Library Card Sign-Up Month
in Cabarrus County and encourage everyone to sign up for a library card today.
Very nice. Thank you for that presentation, and thank you to Communications, who, as you mentioned, as usual, did a wonderful
Excellent
job
job.
with that. Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do I hear a motion to adopt as presented? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And Melanie, would any information you'd like to share with the public on the process to apply for a library card?
It is simple. You just need to walk into one of our locations, Concord, Mount Pleasant, Midland, Harrisburg, or Kannapolis, and bring your current ID, and it is free, and just as simple as that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is a proclamation for Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month. I will read that proclamation. Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month proclamation. Whereas Cabarrus County is proud to be home to over 27,000 community members of Hispanic or Latino descent, and whereas Hispanic and Latino community members enrich our communities by sharing their vibrant culture and heritage, and whereas in September 1968, Congress authorized President Lyndon B. Johnson to proclaim National Hispanic Heritage Week. Excuse me. And whereas this celebration was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15th and ending on October 15th. And whereas the United States Congress and the White House call for all Americans to observe this month appropriately, and whereas Cabarrus County will join with the rest of the country in recognizing the National Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month by commemorating essential contributions, sacrifices, and accomplishments that Hispanic and Latino people have made to the United States throughout history. Now therefore be it proclaimed, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby recognize September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month. Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do I hear a motion to adopt as presented?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. That motion passes. Next, we have a proclamation for Cabarrus County Smart Start and for Smart Start Month. I don't think Ann Benfield made it here tonight, so I will read that proclamation as well. Cabarrus County Proclamations, Smart Start Month, September 1st, 2024. Whereas Cabarrus County Partnership for Children and the North Carolina Partnership for Children and other local and state Smart Start organizations are recognizing September as Smart Start Month in North Carolina, and whereas NC policymakers recognized that progress in early childhood would require tapping into the same innovative spirit that inspired private sector advances and therefore established Smart Start as a public-private partnership in 1993. Smart Start was established as a public-private partnership. Independent private organizations work in all 100 North Carolina counties throughout the North Carolina Partnership for Children and 75 local partnerships. Whereas the power of Smart Start is that it delivers outcomes for children 0 to 5 years by giving communities local control to determine the best approach to achieving them. Whereas Smart Start advances a high-quality, comprehensive, accountable early childhood system that benefits each child under the age of 5 years in North Carolina, beginning with a healthy birth. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim September 2024 as Smart Start Month in Cabarrus County, North Carolina, and urge all citizens to recognize Cabarrus County Partnership for Children, our Smart Start agency, for their important work in our community. Adopted the 16th day of September 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up is a proclamation for PACE Month, and we are happy to have Katrina Nash from PACE of Southern Piedmont here to tell us a little bit about it and to read the proclamation. Welcome.
Good evening. Dear Cabarrus County Board of County Commissioners, I stand in front of you tonight to bring awareness to the local nonprofit community PACE programs, Senior TLC, formerly PACE of the Southern Piedmont. We are an organization is funded through Medicaid and Medicare programs. Our organization serves seniors 55 and older and their caregivers. Our goal is to advance the quality of life for seniors with a chronic illness that need extra support in the day life. We are committed to serve our community, and we already purchased property here in Cabarrus County to bring expert medical care and support to seniors closer to home. We ask that you consider and to stand beside Governor Roy Cooper and declare September National PACE Month. Our proclamation, whereas September is National Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly PACE Month, and whereas PACE, Program of All-Inclusive Care, is an innovative program that provides high-quality care in the community to older people with chronic needs. And whereas PACE is a fully integrated model that provides social support, medical care, and comprehensive, high-coordinated services while allowing the person to remain in their home, avoiding hospital admissions or nursing home placement, which allow older adults who qualify for the nursing home level of care to continue life in the community. And whereas individuals enrolled in the PACE receive all Medicare and Medicaid covered services, items, and services, as well as additional supports which promote well-being and greater independence. And whereas PACE program assumes full financial risk for all medical care and related services, including transportation, hospitalization, and long-term care, in return for payments from Medicare and Medicaid, thereby controlling cost for the state while providing improved health outcomes and greater satisfaction for participants. And whereas PACE Month provides an opportunity to increase awareness of PACE and the benefits of PACE organizations provided to the community. And whereas the theme of the 2024 National PACE Month is Simplify Your Life at Your Pace, that highlights how PACE can simplify your life through a unique model of care. Now therefore, the Cabarrus County of the Commissioners does hereby proclaim, am I supposed to read September 2024 to be the PACE Month. We invite every resident to join us in recognizing PACE Month and celebrate the staff and participants for their roles in making PACE a success in Cabarrus County.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, did you have something else?
No, sir.
That's great.
Thank you.
You've heard the proclamation. Do I hear a motion to adopt as presented? Okay, we have a motion. And we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move now to informal public comments. I think that our rules have been distributed. So if anybody would like for me to read those, I would be happy to. Each person gets 3 minutes to speak. If you would, please identify yourself with your name and address when you come to the microphone. And our first card is from Tammy Pittman.
Hello, my name is Tammy Pittman, and I'm a resident of Cabarrus County. I come tonight to speak about the 2024B project for $270 million. I do not object to everything that is included in the project, but there are several things that I do object to, and that is why I believe that 13 items should not be lumped all together. They should be each brought to the public and allowed to be commented on individually. To start with, the public training facility for $70 million, it says in the budget recommendation that this project will be multi-jurisdictional public safety training facility. How much are the other jurisdictions contributing to this facility? It says that it will reduce the burden of travel expenses. You sure can do a lot of travel on $70 million. As for the replacement elementary school for Beverly Hills and Coltrane Webb, they should never have been allowed to be closed until there was funding for the replacement school. It's like the parents and the kids in those areas are being held hostage because you and the school board seems to decided that you want new schools for them. It seems to me those schools were doing just fine where they were and should have been left alone. At least it seems the parents thought so, since they have been fighting for that. Now, kids have been shifted around with no certainty about it, and that's not fair to them. The behavioral health facility is a nice concept, but you as a board have already overspent the county and I'm sorry, but just like the average everyday person, if you overspend, then you have to cut back until you get your debts paid off. Same thing here. I'm aware that there's a need for something of this sort, but when you overspend on buildings like you've done in the last few years, then you tie your own hands by this overspending. The citizens only have so many dollars, and all you have is their money. No more wild spending. After the county debt is paid way down, then other legitimate needs can be addressed. Another one of these wild spending items in this debt resolution that is just frivolous is a public library and senior citizen at Ashton. We have a perfectly good library and a senior center which they can come to. This is another one of those wants, not needs ideas that should be abandoned. As far as the various other public school needs, it seems to me that roofing and HVACs are everyday needs and should be budgeted without going into debt. When you build a school, it comes with those upkeep items and should be planned on without going into debt. No additional debt for Cabarrus County.
Okay, our next card is from Jerry Anderson.
Jerry Anderson, Kannapolis, North Carolina. I'm here for the scandal of 4916 of Erica Anderson. I'm here to talk about Erica Anderson because I can't talk about my niece who was taken away from my house. Erica Anderson was a helpless child, federal helpless child. Why she was a helpless child? Probably y'all don't know, but she had moderate type 2 bipolar disorder, post-traumatic disorder, borderline personality disorder, and schizophrenia. She couldn't get a job. She didn't finish school. She never got married. She never was a normal adult. She was 25 when I brought her to this Cabarrus County Humane DSS Department, Human Resources, and I asked them to help me with her with all these problems. And y'all turned the prosecutor. This lady could have never had a house. That child lived with me. Her child lived with me, and she lived with me. And y'all took her out of my house and never told me why. And y'all never would hire somebody with schizophrenia, 25, or any of these other problems, moderate type 2 bipolar, post-traumatic disorder, borderline. And y'all prosecuted this girl with all these mental deficiencies. Y'all prosecuted her and condemned her without a lawyer. Orchestrator, DSS attorney Jay White, the judge, Christy, Wilhelm, and prosecuted her. Y'all are happy with this story because I get up here and tell it every day. So y'all happy y'all raided my house and took a child out of a civilian's home, a citizen's home that's done nothing here in this society. And Mike Downs, you locked your door. And you don't want to tell, you're the orchestrator of this DSS. You got people in there that on 4916 are still there. It's beside me, you keep them there because you need people to fill the vacancies so the state don't come in. And you're keeping bad people. I don't want it to happen to nobody else.
Okay, our next card is from Jeter Anderson.
Jeter Anderson. I too am coming up here to talk about the scandal of 4916. And bad people is right. That's what's in our DSS, and everybody in Cabarrus County should be concerned about our DSS. I don't care they just built one, whatnot. They got bad people in there, and we got people up here that don't care. Our county manager is tied to Jay White. What do they have in common? Well, they're both DSS. That's what's in common with them. And right now we have paperwork that's not matching up. It's altered paperwork. And that's probably how somebody that's mentally ill could get prosecuted through as a competent individual. Don't you know that's some kind of safety risk for the society, man? Yet somebody goes in there with mental ill and they go through your system and get prosecuted. Now they're a normal individual and they can purchase guns and whatnot right after that. And we can thank Mike Downs for that because that's what he's contributing out here. That's what he can do for us because he's in that position. He's been in that position for a long time. You've been up here for a long time, man, and you're tied to Jay White, and paperwork is not matching up. This was a federal helpless child, not a competent adult. I have paperwork saying you called her a competent adult. And why did you take her title? It's because you wanted it, and we don't want it back, and Erica don't get it back. She's gone, so you get that title, and I want you to wear it. And you're incompetent for taking her title. That was her title right here. And you don't care because you never asked to look at the paperwork. You don't care the evidence against you. This is evidence against you. This girl was hurt because of some paperwork that you just pushed on through to take that child. So DSS could take that child. I know what y'all did. Y'all just took that child. Just took her. And I want her back. And I want people prosecuted for the foolery that went on. This is crazy. This girl was hurt, man. She was hurt by your paperwork that you didn't fill out correctly. How did she get lost? Is this going to happen to anybody else? Yes, yes it is, buddy. It's going to happen to somebody else because you're not doing a darn thing about this. You're just looking at us every time we come up here. You're the head of it. You got a DSS prosecutor that's just doing whatever with paperwork. This girl's paperwork mattered. She would need a lawyer. She didn't have a lawyer. Cynthia Everson probably would have been there on her side if she knew that she was a helpless child. But no, she got tormented, she got bullied, and she got prosecuted hard. It was gruesome, man. It was gruesome. You don't tell people with mental ill problems this stuff. And you know it, Steve. You work on the board. You know about mentally ill people. Do we need to bring them up here and talk to them how Jay White does? He's terrible. These are bad people you got working for DSS.
Okay, our next card is from May Mack.
Hello, my name is May Mack, and I am a resident of Cabarrus County. First, I want to say thank you to everyone that has devoted any time or energy locally towards addressing the housing crisis presently plaguing our community and our society more broadly. The recent allocation of $2 million by this board to create a revolving low-interest loan account for nonprofit housing development is the type of innovative solution that is required to address this issue. And solutions are required. They are not optional. Housing, shelter, is a fundamental basic need of humans, second only to food and water. And what we also know is that housing is the top need within our community. And this is according to the most recent Cabarrus County Needs Assessment. When there is a pressing need, it is a time for action, a time to seek out opportunities and resources to help meet whatever that need is. Tonight, I am here to advocate for Cabarrus County's participation in an application for the Our State, Our Homes program. This transformational opportunity is part of a broader statewide initiative led by the UNC University system. This is an 18-month program aimed at facilitating work across sectors to improve access to and the availability of affordable housing options in our state. Being part of this program would be equivalent to a university public partnership with the entire UNC University system, faculty, staff, grad students, among other resources. This is a low-risk, high-reward opportunity, and the application will be strengthened by having a county representative on the team. We need innovative solutions to address the housing crisis, and this will help to provide the capacity to develop and fine-tune these types of solutions. So tonight, I'm here to plea for our community's participation in this opportunity. If you are a resident of Cabarrus County, you can call or email your city council members and county commissioners to express support for our participation in the Our State, Our Homes program. You can look it up and start talking about it. And for staff and for elected officials, please be available for discussions of how we can make this happen for our community. The problem is not going away, and we cannot afford to just shut our eyes and hope that it does. We must act to ensure that our community has shelter, and I hope that together we can secure this resource for our community here locally. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Rick Hofferth.
Good evening. Rick Hofferth, Harrisburg. Thank you for having me before you this evening. I do have a handout about, I'm going to talk about the same program that May was. May I hand it to someone?
Hand it to the clerk.
I want to also say thank you to this commission for designating funds to create the revolving loan fund for affordable housing in Cabarrus County. This is an exciting opportunity. Carolina across 100 counties is the program, and specifically Our State, Our Homes. And what this offers is the opportunity for Cabarrus County, as an example, to glean from expertise, knowledge, prior history with this kind of work, whether it's in municipalities or counties or a group of counties. And the thing that's great is that there isn't a cost to participate. The cost would be our time to be involved. They have training sessions. They connect us with people in various aspects of developing permanently affordable housing. And I'm not going to read all of this to you, but I tried to summarize on what I gave you. That's off the website, and that's right there at the top of the page, so you can go take a look at this more yourself. But the best part is, besides no cost, even applying for this does not encumber us. So it's like, if we get it, it's not like later on the state is going to come back and say, well, now, you signed up for this. So it doesn't have any hooks in it, and it does not require us to work outside of Cabarrus County. And I think that's important, since the commission has designated $2 million for the development of affordable housing, that nobody has a concern that, well, we might end up, spending some of our money to help affordable housing in Rowan or something like that. So I think it's very important for us to, I want you to know the benefits that we have. And there is a little bit of funding that's offered. It's a small stipend, $5,000, but to help the core team have a project manager. They do offer funds for a small local pilot project, and then reimbursement for travel expense. There are 5 workshops in Chapel Hill. That's enough. I encourage you to read. Please contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, no applause, please. Our next card is from Wesley Honeycutt.
Wes Honeycutt, Midland. I was talking to Commissioner Schuba before the meeting. I don't remember the exact way you worded it, if I had some words for you all tonight, but I told you before, if I had more time, I'd say more nice things up here. So I don't know if I can get like one of those EDC deals where you give me like a little bit of extra time, and then I can use that to be nice to you all. But there were a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I saw in some of the FOIA requests that I got back that taxpayers paid $100 for a responding to citizen incivility class for the county manager. And part of me wonders if some of that is being applied to how you respond to people who get up here and aren't uncivil, people that do take time to think and ask questions and challenge you all with the decisions that you're making. You see, there's engineers, contractors, accountants, physicians, statisticians, etc., who disagree with some of the decisions you're making. And what I've seen in my time here, and why I keep coming back, is an unwillingness to negotiate, an unwillingness to admit that you might be wrong, that there might be something that the citizens had to say that could impact your policies. I know I've been accused of being part of a coordinated effort, including applause before we banned that in these chambers. But I got no reason to lie to you guys. The first time I came here was by myself. No one knew who I was. And I've kept coming back. I've kept doing the research that I'm doing, and that's all me. I'm the mastermind. I can't quit digging. I can't quit looking into things, because when people are paying attention, it makes you pay attention. It makes you worry about somebody looking into what you're doing. And I'm not saying that you guys have got up here and you've never done anything right or good, but there's stuff going on that ain't right and it ain't good. You know, I love to dig. I've worked in financial crimes compliance for almost a decade now. I love digging into stuff like that. I love putting puzzles together. I love challenging statements that are made that people might otherwise just brush off to the side. You know, we were accused after the last meeting of treating the ACN appraisal like a residential appraisal, but what you all had was something very different. But It was a commercial real estate appraisal. I treated it like a commercial real estate appraisal. It's just not a good deal. And I would have so much more respect for you guys if you just said, hey, it's not a good deal. We realize it. We want it. It's not a good deal. You knew it wasn't a good deal. That's why I have the emails from your former deputy county manager trying to come up with a plan to trick the LGC using the replacement value. Just admit it. That's all I got.
Okay, our next card is from Lee Schumann.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here tonight as president of the SOS Association, Save Our Schools. I want to make one thing clear. This organization, which is an independent organization, unaffiliated, has been fighting for 7 years for school funding. No one is against funding for Coltrane Webb or any other new school. However, what is frustrating is to see a pattern of not prioritizing the needed funding for deferred maintenance to maintain the existing schools, all while overspending on new schools. This is squarely on this body. For 7 years, our group was told that commissioners don't get involved in school decisions, that we needed to take that up with the school board, and we did. We elected new board members in 18, 20, 22, and we will again in 24. We elected members and worked with them to put a new school for Coltrane Webb and Beverly Hills on the capital plan. And then the reason given by the staff for no new school of Beverly Hills was that they couldn't get traction by this body for the funding. So tell me who's against school funding. We were told that you and the school system staff thought it was financially irresponsible, even when their own cost estimates showed that a cost for a new school that's smaller is less cost per seat. Even when you add in the operational cost, it was half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. And even now, we're short 40 bus drivers, and we still support larger schools that require more busing. And now the kicker. The county goes and puts an offer in on this ACN building for double the appraised value that needs $20 million of deferred maintenance. And what does the county do when they realize the appraisal is half the value of the offer? They simply do a cost replacement analysis. And they cover up the fact that that's a bad deal, and they try to justify the bad decision. Did we not go back to the seller and renegotiate on the purchase price on behalf of the tax-paying citizens? Why not? That doesn't make sense. And it's a pattern. When it comes to replacing schools, somehow new construction is so much more affordable than renovating schools and fixing maintenance issues, but this building is the exact opposite. At least with the schools, you already own the derelict and aging building. You just need to put dollars in it and keep it up. The hypocrisy of that is so rich. Not once did you hear a public person come up to the school board or this body and say, no, 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 don't build new elementary schools, don't build smaller elementary schools. But you don't ever listen to the public. That's the point. We're irrelevant to you, but our votes aren't. And the fact that some of you have seen firsthand, people are against bailing out billionaires who own $12 million houses on Lake Norman. They're not against new schools. They're against their taxes being doubled and that same tax dollar being spent on a building that's twice the value. That's what people don't want. They're tired of being told it's sunny outside when there's a storm brewing. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Chris Cranston.
Good evening, gentlemen. Start off by asking that we hold off. I saw the library card thing, looks great. Looks like everything's going wonderful, plenty of room for everybody to get into the library. I don't think we should spend more money on new libraries, especially when there's homeless people and children not in classrooms and schools. I think that prioritization of that money is just not, it's just not money well spent. If we had it, sure, but we don't. I'm asking that you just stop the pursuit of the ACN building. Just save faith, wash it, take the whatever a couple hundred in losses we've gotten, and just show some respect to the citizens. And mentioning the citizens, I want to thank everybody for working, for paying your taxes. You'll never hear it in this chambers, but every day is Tax Appreciation Day, Taxpayer Appreciation Day. That's how these guys get That's how everything in this room is here. Everything is from the taxpayer, and you never hear any appreciation. I've never heard anybody, even at an acceptance speech, never. Like, there's just no, it's just a disconnect that we pay for this. We pay for everything. I listened to the last meeting, the LGC meeting, and it's really embarrassing to see the county going toe-to-toe with the LGC. I haven't been around long, but that doesn't seem normal. And I would just ask that you guys finish your term with a business-as-usual spirit. Quit trying to spend the next 10 years' worth of our tax dollars on your way out the door. That's one of the biggest reasons you lost, Steve. It's not because of your investigation. Most of us are willing to crawl over glass to go vote for a felon with a guy that's got a whole bunch more indictments. It's not it, dude. It has nothing to do with it. Mr. Meismer, thank you for all that you've done and try to stay in base, common sense. I would say, Mr. Anderson and his son, you guys aren't sending a counselor there or anything. I'm tired of that. I'm like going to get a GoFundMe going. You guys want to spend $100 million on the social services building, and you can't satisfy this family. You can't send somebody to his house once a week. Mr. Downs, if I made what you made, I'd do it out of my own pocket just to the embarrassment. These people need counseling. Don't we have that? Isn't it the big thing you guys promote? You're the counseling commission, man. Send somebody to their home to talk to them. That's all I got, and things are going to change around here. I can feel it.
Okay, our next card is from Marvin Bost.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Marvin Bost from the big city of Watson's Crossroads. I come tonight with something heavy on my heart, real heavy. You know, I don't know whether y'all realize it or not, but everything that you do, touch, eat, wear, is agriculture. And if it wasn't for the farmer, you wouldn't have what I'm talking about. The county fair is supposed to be a place to be celebrated for agriculture. But each one of you sitting here has allowed that to almost die. You all got blood on your hands, every one of you. I'll be back next month with more, but please think what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Okay, our next card is from Naomi Hatchell.
Good evening. I'm Naomi Hatchell from Kannapolis. I just wanted to take a minute. Tomorrow's a very special day in America, and I think a lot of Americans aren't aware of it. It's actually Constitution and Citizenship Day tomorrow. And the reason why it's tomorrow is because on September 17, 1787, 39 men gathered at Pennsylvania State House in Philadelphia to sign the United States Constitution. And their ages ranged from 26 to 81 years old. Some of the people you might have known there were like George Washington, Ben Franklin, James Madison, and some other ones there. But I just thought it would be really important for us just to pause. I know in here a lot of times we hear the things we don't agree on, but I think there's a lot more that we do agree on. And I thought it would just be nice just to take a moment and a little bit of time that I have here to read the preamble and as much as I can in the Bill of Rights in the few minutes that I've got, just so we can be reminded of what brings us all together in here as Americans. Because our founding fathers had the wisdom to recognize that those rights were given to us by our Creator and not government. So the preamble says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty. To ourselves and our posterity do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And our First Amendment says that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And our Second Amendment is a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Our third amendment says no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in the time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. The Fourth Amendment says that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by the oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or the things to be seized. Our Fifth Amendment says no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy or of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Our Sixth Amendment, in all anyways, thank you guys. I hope you can look at it more and get your own pocket constitution.
Okay, that's completes all the public comment cards that we have tonight. We move now to the consent agenda. All of the items on the consent agenda are ones that were discussed during our work session 2 weeks ago. And so I think we have 17 items on there tonight. Do I hear a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move now to new business. Which, if I can get to the, okay. New business. First item up is for an appointment for the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee. Our other appointments were included on our consent agenda. The reason that this one is separate, this is a motion to appoint Valerie Miller to the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee for a one-year term ending September 30th, 2025. Service on this board requires some extensive training. I think it's about a 42-hour course that folks have to complete in order to be able to make the visits to the nursing homes to do these inspections. Currently, we only have one person certified to do that. This person, Valerie Miller, has completed her training, and so we wanted to be able to get her approved as quickly as possible so that they can proceed with those inspections. I will also add that the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee is one of those committees that we have a significant list of needs on, a lot of vacancies there. So if there are folks that are here or are listening that are willing to volunteer their time to make sure that our nursing homes are safe and appropriate, we would welcome those applications. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint Valerie Miller to the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee for a one-year term ending September 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Yes,
I just want to point out that, so it says that there's 11 vacant positions for this council?
Yes,
So,
quite a few.
So very important that we get these filled. Now, let me ask, is there any compensation for the board members for their time of going in and inspecting? Okay.
Maybe their travel is taken care of to the facilities, but that's it.
And that is from the state or the county?
That's from Central Iowa.
Oh, from Central Iowa, okay. All right.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up, we have a public hearing for the fiscal year 26-5311 Community Transportation Grant. We're happy to have Charles Ratliff with us. Charles, did you want to, first of all, does anybody have any questions for Charles? If you might just give us a brief overview of the grant and what it covers before we open the public hearing.
So this grant is passed down from the state. It's predetermined. The amount we can apply for is to cover the administration costs for transportation or part of it. And the second part is to cover for vehicle replacement. So like I said, it's predetermined by the state and it's passed down to us.
Right. And this grant, I mean, these are vehicles that are used for any number of different trips. And I would say one of your primary responsibilities are transporting people to medical appointments and dialysis. And
yes, sir. And the vehicles that get replaced, that's determined by the state as well through a useful life system, which is 100,000 miles.
Great. Any questions for Charles? Thank you, sir. Okay, and this does call for a public hearing. So at this time, I will open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium that would like to speak on this matter. Okay, seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to apply for the North Carolina 5311 Community Transportation Grant, which will include a 15% county match for the administrative portion and a 10% county match for the capital portion.
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up is item G3, and I think Commissioner Meismer asked that to be added to new business, so I will turn the floor over to you, sir.
Yeah, at the last school board meeting, there was quite a bit of discussion about a delay of funding for the schools as far as capital needs for the new Beverly Hills and Coultram Webb. And I don't want to get into that. We have already, discussed that as far as Beverly Hills and Coultram Webb, and that's water under the bridge. But as far as the discussion at the school system, during their last board meeting, it was, as I said, it was talked about that there had been significant delays for school funding. So I was going to ask our manager, I'm unaware of any delays that this board has taken, nor the LGC, but just for, public sake, I just want to ask you if there's been any delays on that.
From this board or the LGC? From this board, no, I don't believe so.
Right.
Some of the projects, the future projects, are on the LGC's board agenda.
So this board, this board approved approaching the LGC for the $270 million in additional debt, which included the 2 new elementary schools, and that we did that at the beginning of August. And so from what I understand, the school system still had to vote on their GMPs. Is that correct? Before we could, but they have to vote on that before we can approach the LGC. Is that correct?
Jim, you want to come up and help out on that? I mean, the school board, once they'll need to approve those projects in order to let us know to go for funding.
Right.
Correct.
So, okay, so the school system has to approve that before we approach the LGC, which makes sense, correct? Okay. Well, so as I said, at the last school board meeting, there was a lot of discussion about delays in funding for these new schools, and I'm unaware of any delays, so I'm trying to get to the bottom of that, of how that discussion was even taking place. One of the staff members, Chuck Taylor, had said that he had never seen something like this before. And then one of the board members, the guy that replaced Tim, kept saying that this is personal, that there's a delay, and there's a delay. And I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what the delay is.
Yeah, I didn't watch the meeting.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Well, I
Because
can
from what I
address-
understand, they're voting tonight on the approval of the Coultron Webb and the Beverly Hills. So, you know, as you said, we had to wait on them to vote for that before we can approach the LGC. So I just wanted to clarify that and have that information, you know, out there that, that I haven't, you know, I'm not sure where this delay keeps coming in, so.
I can add a little bit to that. The initial proposal that we had put forth to go before the LGC to fund these school projects was for a draw program, which, as we've previously just explained, is like a construction loan. That list, which I certainly don't have it in front of me right now, but that included the Coultron Webb Beverly Hills replacement. That also included the other elementary school that we have approved to be replacement, which is likely to be in the Harrisburg area or the western side of the county, and a number of other projects, some HVAC systems, some roof replacements. All of those projects were included in that package. When the LGC came back with feedback and said, we don't like doing the draw programs anymore, which we've just completed our second one, then we went back for straight limited obligation bonds on those. The rules for limited obligation bonds require that you have that guaranteed minimum price contract. It also requires that you have the permits in place, a number of other things. So a number of those items have been removed from that request. And so could that result in a potential delay of that, like that second elementary school? Very, very possibly so. That'll require another application going back at another time. But we did not, I mean, the school, a combination, I'm not trying to lay blame on the school system, but they were not far enough along in the process to complete the application. Would that be accurate, Jim?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
we applied for the projects that met the guidelines. So once they approve that contract tonight, that will be one of the hurdles that will be overcome.
Right.
And so I think that probably some of the other conversation I've heard was concern over whether it would actually be on the LGC agenda in October. And we solved that issue at last Tuesday's meeting, where there was a motion made and approved that that item definitely be on the October agenda.
Correct.
So there's no reason to believe that with our application is complete with all the required items on it, so that I can think of no reason that that would not be approved as a standard course of business. It has been, we've never had one turned down in the past, to my knowledge.
Yeah, not to mine either.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's, like I said, I've heard concern in the community, and that's, I just wanted there to be a discussion about addressing this, what so-called delay that they kept mentioning, that a couple of the board members kept mentioning at the last meeting, and I felt as though that we had to wait on approval from the school system to even approach the LGC for this. And whenever we had voted on this in August, I think it was mentioned that it would be the October meeting before the county would approach the LGC. So, so to clarify for the public, there has been no delay from this board or the LGC regarding school construction, as it, you know, had been talked about in the previous school board meeting. I did want to ask, whenever I attended the LGC meeting last Tuesday with you guys, I had noticed that the 270 had been reduced down to 150, and you just had touched on that. But what is included in that 150 million? Because I'm unaware, I was unaware that it had been reduced, and now I'm unaware of what's in the 150 million that we're going to approach. So.
Well, I can get you a list. I mean, I didn't bring one with me. Didn't know we were going to discuss that tonight. But there is a school involved. There's the Afton Library. And then there's a handful of HVAC and roof replacements for maintenance throughout the school system.
So it's a singular school, one, we're saying, not
Just one, new one, yes.
Well, Fred L. Wilson renovations in
Well, it's a
Kannapolis
renovation, yes.
is on the
Mary
list, or an
Wallace,
addition.
Mary Frances Wallace. Got the list, sorry.
I'll help you out. The Opportunity School and the Performance Learning Center, right? Or Mary Walls.
Mary Frances Wallace.
Yeah, Mary Frances Walls. So there's actually 3 schools.
one
and
traditional and
One
two.
traditional and 2 others. The library, Fred L. Wilson, Heating and Air Project for Kannapolis City, and I believe it's 3 roofs and 3 heating and air for,
And RCC.
yeah, and RCC has a heating and air project.
Okay, I would like to have a breakdown of that, so I'm aware of
Yes.
what we're actually approaching the LGC for. Yeah, I would like to see a list of that.
Yeah, when we switched from a draw to,
Right.
we had to have contracts in hand, and those were the ones that we could get contracts in hand.
Right, okay.
I think an additional factor that may contribute to some of the delay conversation is there are folks in the community that are aware if that project had not been on the October agenda, or if it gets pushed forward, the LGC does not allow you to bring forth any projects after the October meeting until the audit is submitted and approved. And of course, that audit takes place after our year end on June 30th. So it is a lengthy process. I'm sorry to keep calling you back, but what is the sort of the standard length of time that typically?
We usually submit our audit around November 30th.
Yeah.
By
So
December
it
1st.
would be, and so if you don't have an item on the October agenda, then it goes to February?
It's basically February, yes, before
Yeah.
they'll put it on. They have to review the audit and everything, so it'll be about February.
Yeah, so if that were to happen, that would result in a delay, and I think it's a valid concern. We hope that that doesn't happen.
Correct.
Yeah, we're going to do everything we can to make sure all the Ts are crossed and Is are dotted to make sure that doesn't happen. Great.
That's all I wanted to discuss.
A comment. I think the information that I guess Mr. Meismer was aware of when he attended the meeting, I think we should know that. As a board, we should have that information. I mean, am I wrong?
No, absolutely not. I think we can supply you with the full application.
Well, I don't need all that, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, then we move to reports, and first up is to receive updates from commission members who serve as liaisons to municipalities or on various boards or committees. Does anyone have anything tonight? Commissioner Wortman.
Active Living and Parks wanted to announce that on October 3rd from 10 to 11 at Rob Wallace Park, there will be a Trails and Tales event that is free to the public. November 7th, that same event will be at Frank Lisk Park from 10 to 11. That is free as well. There's a Hike for Health every Monday in October from 10 to 11 that is free at the parks. October 17th through the 31st at Rob Wallace Park is Spooky But Spectacular Spiders. And October 19th from 10 to 2 at Camp Spencer is Pioneer Day. That is, that's $5. They said there's a lot more information on those on their website that you can get to. And Cooperative Extension on November 13th at the Cabarrus Arena. 9 a.m. is registration, 9:30 is the program. They are having a holiday creation event, and they'll have things like a beverage bar example and recipes, chef-inspired appetizers, making ornaments, floral inspirations, how to create trinket dishes. But that's an event that they are putting on, and that is November 13th at the Cabarrus Arena.
Great, thank you. Does anybody else have an announcement?
Mr. Chairman, I have just a general comment. I don't know if the other board members or you, even yourself, received this, but I received an email today from the governor's office. Governor Cooper, did you get that?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to be in Midland tomorrow at the Bethel Elementary School to celebrate progress that we've made in elementary school education. And so just for the general public and for those of you that's here, if you want to go see your governor, that's where he'll be tomorrow. I don't remember what time, but I think it was at 10 a.m.
Great.
You got noon, I believe.
Noon.
Let's make sure.
Okay, any other announcements? I will mention, of course, we passed earlier tonight the, did you say noon?
Yeah,
for the
12 to 1.
governor's visit? We earlier passed the Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month, and our primary organization, El Puente Hispano, will be sponsoring the International Festival on Saturday, October the 5th. That will take place prior to our next meeting, but that is, I think they are maxed out on their booth and table space. That will be happening in downtown Concord on Market Street and the adjacent streets. It's always a very interesting event. They have a stage where they have a number of different nationalities that come in and perform. I want to say they had about 25 different nationalities represented. So it's always a good event. So I would encourage people to participate in that. If there are no other reports, I will mention, as in our earlier discussion, we have many vacancies on various county boards and committees. So we would encourage people that are willing to volunteer to sign up for some of those spots. The Nursing Home Advisory Board is one that we certainly have a number of vacancies on. So we will move now. The clerk can provide you with a list of those if anybody would like to inquire. And so we move now to general comments by board members, if anybody has anything. Okay, hearing none, we are not in need of a closed session tonight. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. We stand adjourned.